Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Comics and Stuff. My name is Devin and I'm your host. Happy Friday, thanks for tuning back in. This is week 2, back from my 6-week hiatus or something like that. I appreciate everybody who stuck around, appreciate the newcomers. I'm at 1,100 subscribers now. I never thought it would happen. That's amazing and I am excited. So if you can tell from today's title, the X-Men Gold Controversy, we are going to be covering Beanie Babies. So actually though, we're going to be covering the X-Men Gold Controversy. So the X-Men Gold Controversy is actually not really much of a laughing matter. This is some serious stuff that came to light in the last couple weeks, and it was suggested by a few people that I kind of help other people understand it and explain it out so that there's not a lot of confusion about what happened. So just a quick thing, I'm going to be speaking only in fact. I will not be sharing my political or religious opinions. Okay, and I'm just going to be talking about what happened in sequence, and then at the end I will be sharing my opinion on what I think should happen to the person behind this controversy. So without much more than that, let's dive right into it. So the X-Men Gold Controversy goes pretty much like this. There's an artist named Ardian Syaf, who is an Indonesian Muslim comic book artist, who put some religious and political subliminal messages inside his artwork without the express permission or knowledge of Marvel Comics. And people caught on to this very quickly. What were the little things, the little messages? Well, I'll tell you. One was QS551, which was on the shirt of, I believe it was Colossus. Picture should be popping up in the corner. And the other one was 212, that I believe appeared on an awning inside, or on a grocery store. I did read the comic myself, and I saw them, so yeah, pretty sure that's where they were at. And so that's what set people off. So QS551, let's tackle that one first. So in the Indonesian version of the Quran, that is a passage that translates to, "O you who believe, take not Jews and Christians as allies or as leaders." Now, this is the Indonesian translation of the Quran, and G. Willow Wilson, another comic book artist who happens to be a Muslim as well, she's the creator of Miss Marvel, did quickly step up and speak out and say, hey, check it out, 75% of Muslims are not Arabic speakers. There are different translations of the Quran into different languages. And that is the Indonesian translation of it, which can be seen as anti-Semitic, but that is not all translations of the Quran. She, of course, wanted to defend her religion, but in the end, she ultimately, denounced Ardian Syaf and his views and, the garbage thing that he did. And she basically was like, yeah, he is garbage. Now, the Quran.com did have an official translation for this verse, which I have on my phone here, so let me pull it up. So the Quran.com translated it as this: "O you who have believed, do not take the Jews and Christians as allies. They are in fact allies of one another, and whoever is an ally among you, then indeed he is one of them. Indeed, Allah guides not the wrongdoing people." So I can't see this being translated into a ton of different ways, and people reacted, I think, accordingly. The comic book community is supposed to be a diverse and accepting community that does not hate or have anti-Semitic or anti-anybody, really, things. I mean, yes, free speech is totally warranted, and it's good to open a discussion, but generally speaking, as far as I know, because I grew up in a comic book community that was very inclusive and accepted everybody and had important discussions about social norms and social unnorms and how we can overcome them, but I've never actually known any comic book nerds to truly be hateful or be spreading anti-anybody messages. So it's pretty lame, but I'll get to that in just a minute. Now, as for the 212 that was shown in the awning on the awning in the comic book, that was a date, December 2nd, which was the date of which 200,000 Indonesian Muslims marched against their governor, who was a Christian, because he allegedly had said blasphemous things about the Quran in one of his recent speeches. I'm not sure if that protest ended up becoming violent. I do know that many people were arrested, is what I read. But again, I don't know all of the facts on that, but that is what we do know, is that was the general basis of what the protest was for. Some people have been in agreement with that and being like, okay, well, it's just a political thing, and it's not as bad as the religious one. But some other people saying, well, they were marching against a Christian governor because he wasn't nice about the religious text. Either way, it shouldn't have been in there. Now, Marvel did have an official response to this, of course, because, I mean, Marvel is so big and it's owned by Disney. Disney's so big, and so this reflects onto them. Marvel's official statement said, essentially, this was done completely without our permission or our knowledge, and the artist will be dealt with and disciplinary action will be taken in full. They also made a statement about the X-Men themselves, because the X-Men have historically, since the 1960s, been a group all about inclusivity and diversity. They were created by Stan Lee in 1963, and they were the weird kids, the ones who weren't accepted, and they found home with other people that were diverse, and that's what the X-Men have always been about. So to put these anti-Semitic messages in a comic book about a group that is diverse, you can kind of see the irony in that. So Marvel is taking action, and this is being taken very seriously. But then there was also the rebuttal by Artie and Syaf, which I will be going over. So Marvel is basically like, no. So the rebuttal from Artie and Syaf was essentially, he admitted defeat. He made in a statement that his career was over, and he apologized. He said that he does not hate Christians or Jews, and he's defeated. He made a long statement on his Facebook page, and was just like, I am sorry for anybody that I may have offended with these messages. I certainly am not like a hate-filled person or anything like that. But his career is over. He has been denounced. Nobody's going to work with him anymore. And many artists, are not happy with him, so I don't see him ever working. And it's unfortunate because he had done a lot of great work with Batgirl, Brightest Day, Superman, Batman, and Nightcrawler, and it's unfortunate that he made this decision and destroyed what appeared to me to be a prosperous career. But that's shit happens, and it was unfortunate. Now, a lot of people, such as G. Willow Wilson, are worried that this may create some sort of stigma with other Muslim comic book artists, and I just want to quickly, address that and talk about my own opinions on that. I certainly hope that does not create any sort of weird stigma. Like I was saying earlier, the comic book community that I grew up in was very inclusive, caring, and diverse. So I hopefully will not hear anything about or learn anything about just people being awful to somebody because of their religious views. That's not how I think anybody should be. It's unfortunate that we live in a time where racial or religious bias is high, but hopefully the comic community stays strong and is able to work with anybody and everybody despite our differences. That's what makes us so unique as a counterculture, comic book and nerd culture. I think is the glue that binds the rest of the world together, because without comic books, I mean, everybody would just, in my opinion, it would suck. But, who am I? I'm the guy who runs a comic book channel, so that's obviously my opinion. As for Artie and Syaf, I think he's going to get exactly what he deserves. He's going to fade into obscurity. He ruined his career by spreading hate in a comic book about inclusiveness and diversity. Excuse me. And that was just a dumb thing to do, really. So, but now, anyways, moving on. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, YouTube. I think this is a great way to start a discussion and talk about what people think. One thing I'll quickly say is, if you want to comment down below, please feel free to share your opinion, but I will not tolerate hate speech on my channel. Any form of hate speech will be deleted. And yes, freedom of speech, and we're in America, blah, 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 but this is my channel. I will not tolerate hate. You can share your opinions, but please, I don't want to see anybody saying fuck a certain religious group or race or anything like that. I don't have any time for that on this channel. So as long as you're respectful, please share your opinions. I'd love to talk to you guys and hear your thoughts. But that's really it for this video. I think I've gotten my point across. I do not agree with what Artie and Syaf did, and I think that he's getting exactly what he deserves, which is to have his career ruined, and he's going to fade into obscurity. But then I also agree with G. Willow Wilson. I hope that this does not create a stigma amongst Muslim comic book artists. That would be an awful thing. So that's really it. If you guys enjoyed this video and want more content like this, please hit the subscribe button. And my Facebook needs a little love, you guys. You know, I have over 1,100 subscribers here on YouTube, but the Facebook has like 90 people. Come on, go on over to Facebook and please hit that like button. You know, you can catch, if you guys don't have an Instagram or Twitter, you can keep up with me and my posts there. I talk about all my nerd stuff. I'll show you all the cool things I get each week. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next Friday.